You don't exactly close them so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
6中。黄色い紙を拾い読む。
In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form.
どんな種類の用紙があるんだ？
3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. And the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of.
違反罰金書を見る。
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to
は
250 real.
は
Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields.
なんかこれ使ってさ、人からお金をせびれないかな。罰金ですって言って。ちょっとあなたのそれ罰金ですって道行く人に欲しいな。200ぐらいでいいから出頭通告書を見る。
These are quite sinister in turn. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing. All in a print so small it could be considered downright cute.
現場検視報告書を見る。
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs.
OK。
Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to
あ、い
people.
けるのか。
Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys.
罰金いけるぞ。
The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper.
実験簿、あ、もうこれはいいか。
You don't exactly close them. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down. The surface looks like an official mark, made to be low visibility outside the right circumstances.
What? Yes, halogen watermark. It depends. Aside from an anti-counter. Okay.
これどうやって見んだろう。記録簿を持つことはできない。アイテム？あ、アンモニア、ハンカチか。はいはいはい。
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of It's the ledger you found in the trash. An aluminium block runs a bunch of sodden papers. An aluminium, the surface is looks like an official mark.
What? Yes, halogen watermark. Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
ちょっとわからんな。
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
これのことかな？違うな。キムがシステムを説明した？これのことか？これのことかな？ちょっと待って。向こうの行ってみようか。こっちの方だと
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers
いや
hanging from the
そ
board.
んなことないな。こっちでも読めるな。
Rules drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip. Then
透
made
かしを読
by
め
the。faint smell of urinal cleaner.
光の中に立て。もう立ってるけどね。うん。間違えた。記録簿しまう。この光の、
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp,
あ、これか。
iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
うーん。
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro perforations.
光っている網目状の道路を見る。
The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights.
待て、周囲を見てみろ。
A rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries.
え
In the
ー、
distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry.
Ah, Martinez.
現在地はどこだ？
Let me see. Right here.
海岸部分、良さそうな場所だ。
No, it does not.
穴を見る。
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows.
それぞれの列を数える。
The first row has 18 dots.
悪くない。
Not bad for what? You don't even know what it means yet.
次の列は
The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some.
それぞれ数えてみる。
There are so many, it's hard to count. More
Eh?
than 150, at least. Maybe
最後の
even 200.
最後の列は
The last row has 3
3
perforations.
うん。
As you look at them, you feel your index finger reflexively contract 3 times.
人差し指が反射的に3回収縮する。3回。なんでだ ?3 回に何か意味があるのか。人差し指が収縮する動き。引き金を引く動きなんだろうな。前にも同じことをした気がする。
And something you'll do again
うん。
before this is all over.
この穴はなんだ透かしにある点を指す。
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. But the first row represents your years of service.
なるほどね。
18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
18年もこの仕事をしてるのか
That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth?
なんだかしょっちゅう方々に謝ってた気がする。面目デカ。
Maybe
の
you
前
were
も
a
面
diplomat
目おじさんだったん
or
だ
an
ね。
PR. Doesn't matter, I suppose. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is
ほ
your
ー。
number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see.
なんか150から200とか言ってた
Wow, more than 200.
それって多い方か
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force
う
for nearly 2 decades.
ーん。
Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
統計学で使用される用語、パーセンタイル。RCM 捜査官100人中10番目に多く事件を解決している。すごいじゃん。 つまり俺はスーパーデカだったってことが言いたいんだな。腕は良かった。それは慰めになるな。多分最後の数字はなんだ？
You know the answer already. The tingle in
なる
your
ほど
index finger
ね。
gave it
そ
away.
っか、引き金が収縮、引き金じゃない。人差し指が収縮するってのはやっぱり引き金だね。俺が殺した人間の数3人だな。
That's right. How did you know?
うん。人差し指がうずいたんだ。
Ah, right. Sometimes the brain's able to preserve certain responses even when conscious memory has been, let's say, misplaced. For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock Quarter, it's
そうなんだ。
rather tame. I mean that in a good way.
解決数は多いけど、人を殺した数は、まあその地区の治安の割には少ないねって話ね。
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident.
うん。
But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
酒を手向けるべきかな。死んじまった奴らのために。違うみたいだな。
If you want to pour out the booze you've been carrying around on duty, I'm certainly not going to stop
う
you.
ん。いや、やっぱりやめとく。
As you will.
あんたは誰かを殺したことがあるか？
Yes.
うん。そうか。どうやってストレスと戦ってる？
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a
あ
few
あ、
hobbies.
はあはあはあ。ティップタップレースとか？
Par exemple,
俺も趣味があった方がいいかな。お酒があるじゃない。
why not gardening?
か？
You've already got the gloves.
黄色い手袋も持ってるわけだし、確かに黄色い手袋してるよ。ありがとな。
The lieutenant nods.
もうこれについて、
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
あ、ライト消してくれてありがと
You can now see your statistics on your journal page
う。
to the right of the task description.
ジャーナルページって何？あ、マップ出た。出ない。吊るされた男。これ白いのスキルチェックもう一回いけるってこと？あ、そう。ありがたいね。いたんだ。いたんだ、記録簿失敗したけど。ただもう一個あんのよ。
It's the ledger you found in the
これ。
trench. A cabbage of
42%
papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer
行
inside.
ってみようか。
It's barely held together by a clip.
高くはない。
Incomplete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
高くはないが 92% で失敗するということは 42% で成功することもある。
Yes,
Aru.
you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120111700, the next world mural.
ハリー、なんだったっけ？ハリー、なんちゃらじゃないの？うん。名前じゃないのかな、最初の HD は。B はなんだっけ？ B が頭文字の何かあったっけ？まあ、いっか。捜査官の名前と文書じゃなかったのか？
Why, yes, your precinct number is 41.
HDB。
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins
Oh.
with it. And these are your case files.
ハ
It's
リー・
safe
デ
to
ュブロイ
say
だっけ？
HDB are your initials.
うん。
Harry Dubois, HDB.
デュボア。デュボアか。ハリー・デュボア。なるほどね。ということこれ。次世界の壁画。
This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne.
うん。
The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, True love is possible only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lectures have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the next world mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
待ってくれ、俺は絵の発案者を見つけてるのか？
The case files do not show you finding the author of the design.
読み進める。
The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
うん。これ私が今選択すんの？壁画を残す、壁画を消す。うん。中産階級に鉄意を。まあ、普通にグラフィティアートって難しいよね。まあ、警察の取る手としてはやっぱ消すなんだろうな。適切不適切は置いといて。うん、お仕事的には消すんだろうな。消
A
す。
staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a
そういうも
loud
んか。
minority.
そういうもんだよ
And
ね
that。love truly is possible in the next world for new people. And it is too late for us.
うん。俺はそいつを消す方に投票していただろうな。そんな妄言は1ミリも信じない。
No one cares what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger. What do you want to tackle next? Or are we done?
そうですか。あ、間違えた。
It takes about half an hour to
これ
put
事
one
件簿って
together
何か意味あるのか
using
な？
the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
これ私が解決した事件なんだよね。まあ、全部読んでっか。解決不能事件。ああ、でもこれは気になってた。
AKA Leslie and Burke, AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk, is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable.
他の刑事から引き継いだ未解決事件ってことか。公然わいせつと器物損壊の酔っ払い。なんかそんな大した。
Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable
な
by
るほどね。
incarceration.
それで解決不能ってことね。でもなんかこれやってること、ハリーと変わんなくない？
The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
そいつらを街から締め出すことはできないのか？
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition because that's where the action is.
作用。
Threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years.
10年。これまでの引き継ぐまでの10年もそうだったように、苦情はやまない。
It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
レスリーは公然わいせつじゃないの？違うか。バークとレスリー。違う。レスリーとバーク。どっちが先？レスリーが公然わいせつだね。
Good, you're learning.
あ、よかったよか
If
っ
the
た。
files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face. Then you proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved.
解決したって言えるのかな。そしてこのハリーのこの、なんていうのかな。泣きながら、バークバークを殴るあたり。ちょっとなんか、やっぱ多重人格の毛があるんだね、昔から。違うのかな。私の解釈間違ってるかな。警官は泣き出した。うん。ポテントピルスナーで正気を失っていた。ポテントピルスナーってなんだろうな。まあ、ちょっと後で調べてみよ
Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing.
う。これだってハリーのことでしょ、絶対。問題の捜査官って。四角い弾痕殺人。
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape. That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead. Who knows?
連続殺
Those
人
pages are missing. What
終わ
next?
り気になる。思わぬ場所でカウチに座る若者たち。うん。ページが欠けてるんだよね。だから本当は答えがあるんだけど、今持ってる傷んだ記録簿からはもう読み取れないというか読めない。うん、先がわからない。じゃあ次、思わぬ場所でカウチに座る若者たち。
Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected
う
location.
ん。
They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
まあでもこれだけじゃ事件にならないよね。やったことが結局バカだったんじゃないかな。バカに見えた。
Insufferable dicks. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the
苦情
damn
か。
sofa, or couch, or whatever it is. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected
お、
and whimsical
だいぶ時間
locations.
進んだな、今
They。took it too, where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, and drank coffee because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
んえ片付けて終わりなんかこの間なんか抜けてる感じがするけどな。まあそれか、これか。そいつらは捕まえたのか？
No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
なんかこの間の闇。この間に闇が見える。何かやってるな、これ。フーカーパーラー殺人事件。
Murder. Tum 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 at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who
どういうこ
is
と？
now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
どういうこと？
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner JM, only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files.
ちょっといろいろはしょりすぎだよ。
At the hookah parlor.
じゃあ事件の内容を確認しよ
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve, was doing it solo, said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister, was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills.
う。うん。
Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
できなかった。解決できなかった。
No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
私が担当になったのか。日がな一日ガムの味がする煙を吸う。ハイになれるのか？
No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything.
すすと水の煙、どうにもならない。最高だな。
Yeah, really lame. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin, movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Tables low, heavy, really sharp edge.
被害者はフーカーを吸って立ち上がり、そこで気を失ってテーブルに頭をぶつけ死んだのか？
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah.
本当かな？
Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
フーカーは脳の酸素供給を遮断する。そしてトイレに行こうと席を立つまでそうとは気づかない。なるほどね。本当かな？かなり吸ったに違いない。
Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name.
でもそれならなんかわかりそうなもんだけどね。机の角に頭をぶつけたのであれば。それで被害者はそこで何をしていたんだろう、6時間も。
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was murder at the hookah parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed, piecing it together. Next.
終わりでいいな。
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden
あ、
papers
いけるぞ、
still
これ。
sags from the clipboard.
手さばき7、非常に高い。パークのように膝を叩き割る。バークのように膝で叩き割るか。それ膝をさ、膝やっちゃわないそれ。自分の膝で叩き割るの？嫌な予感するけど、でも 97% なら。
Just relax. The two sides of the board are slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off the slides. All you need to do is bend the plastic on your knee, slowly.
ゆっくりね。ゆっくり膝を使うのね。
The slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, you know.
さあ何が出てくるのか引き出しを開ける。
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
中には何がある？
Two ticket stubs and a handmade
チケット。
postcard.
しかも2枚。版権を取り上げる。
Two octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too.
レバショール東の動物園。はがき。ああ、どうしよう。先に進むだってこれ。先に進むか。はがきを取り上げる。
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
先に匂いを嗅ぐ。
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored.
アプリコット味。
A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti.
トゥーティーフルーティー。カードを開く。
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy.
目を覚ました時に読めるよ。
Throw it away, please.
だがこれを読めば俺は喜ぶのだろう？
A merciful wind blows in from the bay of Revachol, dusting the ground at your feet and raising newspapers far away. You feel the card slipping into it.
今のは何だ？
Frisson covers your entire body, a feeling of cold, a persistent chill.
風に放っちゃダメだよな。はがきをつかみ文面を読む。
Your hands shake, holding on to it. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road.
毎朝眠っているあなたを残して家を出ると、ああ、そういうことか。一緒に住んでいて、眠っているハリーに向けて、一緒に住んでいて、先にこの女性が起きて仕事へ出かける前に、眠っているハリーに向けて当てた手紙って、置き手紙ってことだね。うん。
Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
読み続ける。
You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear.
真っ暗になった。一日が終わったのかな、もしかして。
You feel the ledger slip from your hand.
アイテムを失った？
No. Hold on.
持ちこたえる。
To what? There's nothing.
Detective, is everything alright?
え？始める。
There is nothing.
あ、ちょっと待って。嘘でしょ？ちょっと待って。
Again.
あ、びっくりした。よかった。最初っからかと思ったよ。無だって？ただ倒れて気絶してるだけだが。
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you. That's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
今のは誰だ？
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
最初にその出てきた古代爬虫類能だね。で、それは誰だっけ？
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
そうそう、それだよ。なんだ、そうそう、それだよ。そうそう、それだよ。
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it
これどうなっちゃう
the
の？
shadow.
あの手紙先読んじゃいけなかったのか。
Because it's always there.
あ、ゲームオーバーではなさそうだ。白い愛刀っていう思考を獲得した。
Tell him. Tell him.
Ah, yes. In the old factory system, they call it the apricot chewing gum scented one. It's unhealthy of them to linger on it so. But as they say, what do you
アプリコット
do?
ガム。すごくいい香りだった。
It didn't smell nice.
そうな
It
の？
smelled like betrayal.
あれが別れたなんとかなのか？つまり、おう、
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
違う、あれは美しかった。
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape. Its lack of beauty was not the problem.
別れた彼女、別れた奥さんとの思い出の手紙で、それを読んでいて、気を失ったっていう流れか。なんか途中なんか真っ暗になったから日付が変わって、寝落ちたじゃないけど気絶したかなと思ったけど、そもそもそんな時間じゃなかったもんね。21時。まあ遅くても22時ぐらいだったから、やっぱあの手紙読んじゃいけなかったんだな。なんか頭の血が絞り取られるみたいな。で、なんか真っ白になる、目の前が真っ白になるみたいな、テキストがあったから、つまりはそういうこと、本当に気絶したんだ、これ。うん、あったよ。そこまで遡れんのかな？遡れないよな。遡れないね。うん。あの瞬間もうちょっと私自身パニックになっちゃって。なんだかわかんなかったけど。つまりはでもそういうことなんだろうね、きっとね。いや、でも手帳落としたの、ちょっとな。まあ、ボイジャー通りはどこ行った？
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
それで俺の名前はハリーでいいのか？
Your name is fuck all.
It certainly ain't Harry.
ならどんな名前なんだ？
Your name is passed out on the ground, dragged around by one of the other evil apes. They're taking you somewhere.
もういい。このまま横になって動きたくない。
You think they would let you until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
キムか？なんだが？なんか冷たいものが戻る気はないわ。やめとこう。このままなんだろうな。このゲーム、しれっとゲームオーバーになりそうな雰囲気あるよね。だからなんかこういう選択肢が実は危なかったりしそうな、感じもするんだよな。はい、ゲームオーバーみたいな。はい、クリアみたいな選択肢がありそうだから、ちょっと、これ目覚めたい私は。なんだ？なんか冷たいものが。
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious.
おう。喉が潤う。
Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
こっからあ、よかった。時間もこんな時間だったね、やっぱりね。焦るー。あれ、ちょっとまだ、なんかまだ白い。大丈夫かな？無の中からダッシュボードの上に輝くケーキ類の光が浮かび上がる。ここはどこだ？
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket, the air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
よいしょ。孤独なき家路。解決策。あれ今はまだ何もできないのか、もしかして。あ、今は内面化もできない。とりあえず起きたい。起きよう。起きてからだ。すべては。
Drink. Water.
飲む。
The water is cold, silvery,
お、回復した。
the
よ
stuff
かっ
of life
た。
itself, as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
何があった？こっちが聞きたいよ。
You were reading your paperwork. Then you passed out. I carried you to my kinema to take you to a hospital. Then you came to.
俺はどれぐらい気を失ってた？
10 minutes, maybe.
3択だね。どれを選択しても結論へ。俺は過去の焼け落ちた廃墟と接触したんだ、警部補。俺は脱水症状を起こしていた。今後は気をつけるよ。俺は、いや、気にするな。と言って車から降りようとする。これなんだ？俺は過去の焼け落ちた廃墟と接触したんだ。過去の焼け落ちた廃墟。何があった？まあ、これかな。一番下はないな。こっちはこっちでちょっと嘘ついてるもんな。こっちはごまかしてるし、嘘ついてるし、真実かどうかは置いといて何かをキムに話そうとしている。まあちょっとこの言い回しが、ちょっといい印象を与えるのか悪い印象を与えるのか、この言い回しちょっとわかんないけど。2番で。なんかアイテム？失敗と憎しみの記録簿。記録簿の名前が変わったのね。たまにあることだな。彼はあなたに記録簿の残骸を差し出す。
You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
事件を片付けよ
う。Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped with held
手持
slots
ち
for
スロット
skill
に装備する
bonuses.
とスキルボーナスを
Find
得ら
it
れる。
under the Tools tab in your inventory.
じゃあインタラクトじゃなくて道具に入ったんだ。インタラクトす
It's
る
the
よ。
ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the
ま
wall.
だ読むよ、
The
私は。
periodicals drawer inside. It's
ま
barely
た
held
気を
together
失
by
うかもしれ
a
ない
clip
け
and
ど。
made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. Inside, you see
う
two
ん、まあいいや、
ticket
それは。
stubs.
改めてハガキを見る。
Willing your hand
あ、ダメだ。
to move. It refuses. It's
体
too
が
much.
拒否反応を示している。くたばってしまい、ケツの穴野郎め。こんな汚い言葉使いたくないけど、選択してみるか。
The words just crossed your mind somehow.
今の言葉は誰に向けたものだ？
Who do you think?
あなたは誰だと思う？濡れやすいもの用のスペースを閉じる。
It's slightly, ever so
OK。
slightly, difficult to breathe once
終
you've
わった。
done so. The drawer is locked. Blue ink
記録
drips
簿
from the
チェッ
white
ク終わ
pages
っ
in your
た。長かった記録簿チェック。で、これを持つことで、 内陸帝国プラス1、共感プラス1、権威マイナス2。権威がどんどん下がってくな。他はまあまあまあ、どうなんだろうな。権威を下げる。あれそんなことないのか。権威は何で下がってんだ？あれだ。こっちだ。これが見れない。なんで？あ、見れた。
Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox, 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And where's the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all you have now.
ボーナス。近くの学習上限が5に増加した。運動向上薬で精神プラス1。まあ、デメリットは、もう一個。デメリットはないね。
Here it is. Hard facts from the man you are. You once jerked off in the locker room and were caught. You held a young woman by the arm and kept her in your apartment for 20 minutes against her will. That's right. These are not flights of fancy. These are real deeds, Harry, emerging from the darkness of your past. You tried shooting a fleeing suspect in the foot, but hit him in the pelvis, crippling him for life. And, above all, you let life defeat you. All the gifts your parents gave you, all the love and patience of your friends, you drowned in a neurotoxin. You let misery win, and it will keep on winning till you die, or overcome it.
はい。厳しい自己批判。ボーナス。知性と精神のレッドスキルチェックに失敗すると気力プラス1。肉体と運動のレッドスキルチェックに失敗すると体力プラス1。数学式値の、学習条件が6に増加した。悪くない。マイナスないね。うん。権威マイナス1もなくなったでしょ？ああ、でも百科事典プラス1もなくなっちゃったのか。電気科学。マイナス1。そして白い愛と権威マイナス1。小さな男はどんどん遠くなっていく。まあ内面化しようか。あ、新しいスロットをアンロックする必要がある。これはどうやってアンロックするんだい？あ、そう。好きに付け替えれるなんていう、そんな優しい優しい感じじゃないな、これ。外すって、忘れるもなんか、いや、スキルポイントね。スキルポイントこっちに使うっていうこともあるのか。はは、そんなにでもたくさんスキルポイント手に入んないですよ。入んないですよ。悲しい。じゃ、どうしようかね。暗いけど。一旦区切る？一旦区切ろうか。てか、めっちゃぶっ続けてプレイしちゃってるな、今。2時間近く。これちょっと分けるか、動画を。では今回はこの辺で区切りましょう。ちょっと次どこ行けばいいのかも 記録簿読んでたらわかんなくなっちゃった。あ、でも、あれか、アンモニアもらったし、あとはバーテンと話す理由がなんかあった気がするな。うん。ああ、一日の終わりに打ち合わせか。21日以降、一日の終わりにワーリング・イン・ラグズのバルコニーでキムと話し合いをしろ。あ、重要。これ今何時？あともうちょっとだね。これはやっときたい。で、なんかこれ時計マークがついてるから、多分時間制限があるんだろうね。まあ、当然今日の初日だから、1日目の終わりだから、この後1時間30分後ぐらいにはやんなきゃいけないことだね。これね。うん。バッジは見つからないし、服を捨てたのは誰か。これだ。ガルテに聞かなきゃいけないのは。通報したのもわかりません。秘密の通路。カラオケね。あ、そうだ。ネズミだ。ネズミの鍵もどこだこれ。裏庭って言ってたよね。さっぱりわからない。他の人間から世界について詳しく教えてもらうよ。レナは勧めていた。金持ちはどうだ？金持ちは教養がある。こんなん受けたっけ？こんなんいつの間に受けたんだ？まあいいや。はい。では今回はこの辺で区切ります。よろしければ次回もご覧ください。ご視聴ありがとうございました。